Alright, here we go. This is going to be... First of all, this is take 2. I recorded this yesterday, and I completely I don't know, fucked it up. So you guys, instead, you got the top 10 list. So, I don't know if that was... It's probably better that I lost this. But now I have to re-record this again, so that's great. But anyway, this is going to be a look at Lorne Armstrong, Example of My Past, which is a re-upload. It's a bit interesting. I guess for some reason Lorne took this video down. It's got to be pretty bad for him to turn it down, to take it down. But this is the video, the infamous video, where he blames it all on his siblings for him being in the sting. It's pretty fucking funny. So yeah, he blames it all on the siblings. He didn't get any presents or anything for him, so I'll let it play. But yeah, it's pretty interesting actually. So let's get started.
Hello everyone. I told everybody that I would tell them about my past. I'll tell you all about.
Right away, he doesn't have the usual hat on that he does. I haven't ever seen this hat before or after this, so that's been interesting. I don't know, maybe what happened to this hat? He doesn't have it anymore, I guess. So it's a bit interesting. I don't know what's on the logo either. It looks maybe like a Coors logo. I can't tell though. So, but yeah, it's a bit interesting. Where did this hat come from, and where did it go?
All my past. I've decided that I'm not going to tell you all about my past. I will give you an example of the 5 years before I got incarcerated.
Incarcerated. So he doesn't say when he was in jail, when he was in prison. He says incarcerated. So it's a bit interesting. Again, Lorne always likes to make things sound better than they are. Even when before that, he says, "I operate a lull" instead of "I was a construction worker. I drove a lull." He says, "I operate a lull," to make him sound much more important than he actually is. I mean, it's just, I'm not sure what a lull operator really even does, but it's not, I don't think it's the most important job out there. And, yeah, I mean, if they gave the job to Lord, how important could it be? So he says, he does that all the time. He says, when I was incarcerated, when I operated a lull.
Or before I got involved in the sting. I realized I do not need to tell anybody. I really don't owe anybody an explanation. All right. This example is one of the things that had happened to me that
spit it out, Lorne. Spit it out. He's like, that's so many pauses, and he like has to think so hard about his next word. Just spit it out, man. Come on.
Well, that was part of why I couldn't think straight. One of my siblings. Well, see, I idolized some of my siblings and some others also, and I never should have done that, and I certainly don't idolize them now.
So Lorne says that like it's the biggest victory, like it vindicates it, like, oh yeah, I certainly don't idolize them anymore. Lorne, you are the RSO of the family. You're probably in the clan of the Lord Armstrong, of the clan of the Armstrong children. You're not by far the worst. You are by far the worst, and that's saying something. So it's a bit interesting that Lord says that. He thinks like, oh yeah, I certainly don't do it anymore, as if they would even care about that, as if it like breaks their heart that you don't do that anymore. It's really like Lord is just on a completely different planet, man, in terms of his perception of reality. Like it's not, no one is sobbing because Lord doesn't idolize them anymore. And if you ask some of these siblings, Lorne getting caught on the sting maybe was the best thing. Because really, Lorne is a guy who always lived in close proximity to his siblings. He always had, structure. He always had someone to fall back on. Even when he was in the Air Force, he had structure there. And he always had people that would have helped him out, or he never really had to live and fend for himself. And the one time he moves away from family, he can't hold down a job, and then he falls in love with a 13-year-old decoy, and he winds up on To Catch a Predator. That was in a span of 2 months. 2 months where he was basically living without structure for the first time in his life, and he got caught, and his life was just a wreck. A wreck. So, yeah, Lorne is like, yeah, I mean, I idolized my siblings, and they treated me like shit, so I moved away. But, that was like the worst thing that could have happened to you.
But this example is probably one of the most disgusting to me. One of my siblings needed.
He calls it disgusting. He says it's disgusting. Like, come on, give me a break. What you did was disgusting, Lorne. I don't know what the hell you're doing. I don't know what the hell you're thinking.
House and
that's what I'm saying. Delusional. On a completely different planet.
And so I had a septic business at the time, and I was making good money, and so I took my crew up to their house, up to my siblings' house, and did $700 worth of work on their house, and including paying the crew.
Paying the crew. How fucking horrible do you have to be at your job to have to work for this guy, to work for this piece of shit? How bad would you have to be at your job to be an employee of Lord Armstrong, right? Like, you have no other options other than to work for this yokel. And Lorne was probably ordering people around while he's sitting around smoking cigarettes, drinking Bud Light. He's just doing all of that while he's ordering everyone around. No, that doesn't look right. Do it again. And meanwhile he's taking pictures of his cock the entire time.
And I told them it was a Christmas present. If they want to give me a Christmas present back, then they can give me, make me some macaroni and cheese. There's some homemade macaroni and cheese that they made. And I did the same for another sibling. Went up to their house and I did $700 worth of work, including paying for my crew and even using some of the materials that I had and all that. And I told them if they wanted to, the same thing, that it was a Christmas present. If they want to give me a Christmas present back, they can make me some deviled eggs.
So Lorne is such a nice guy, right? He does all this work. All he asks for in return is homemade macaroni and cheese and deviled eggs. Like, what the fuck? First of all, macaroni and cheese, how good could that be compared to, like, how, like, it could be the best homemade macaroni and cheese in the world. How much better is it going to be than the one that comes in the box? How different could it be? But yeah, and it's like such a delicacy for a lord. Like, that's considered fancy. That's considered fancy, right? It's like Lord is so simple-minded that that is like considered a fair trade, first of all, but that's considered something that would make his day. It's like his favorite things in the world are macaroni and cheese, weak coffee, and Mama Gwen's homemade chicken pot pie. And it's like, and cigarettes. That's his favorite things in the world. He's so simple-minded.
And then another sibling I gave $425 to for heating oil, and told them that if they want to give me it was a Christmas present, if they want to give me a Christmas present back, they can make me some of their homemade meatballs.
No, not the meatballs too. Oh shit.
I never saw the meatballs, I never saw the deviled eggs, and I never saw the macaroni and cheese until the following year. My sibling came down with a pot of macaroni and cheese and asked me to borrow $500 so they could get Christmas presents for the kids. So I gave them $500 so that way the kids could get Christmas presents.
And this somehow took place over 5 years. Lorne said that this took place over 5 years. How the hell does that take 5 years? He started off last year, he did all those things for his siblings and didn't get anything in return, and then the next year someone came back. It's 2 years, Lorne. Come on, what is wrong with you? It's not 5 years. Where's your calendar are you using?
And I told her, the same thing. Just make me another thing of macaroni and cheese. And to this day, I've never seen the macaroni and cheese.
Lord, I don't know why this wasn't his defense in court, man. Like, does no one have a heart anymore? That you can see that he was just completely taken advantage of, and that's why he did what he did. Does no one have a heart anymore? Oh my god, this guy is such a fucking piece of shit, man. He really is a piece of work, man. To make that the excuse, he got betrayed. By his mind, by people that he idolized. Oh my god, you have better idols than Lorne. I mean, that's really what it is.
And I told them don't make it take a year. Well, they didn't make it take a year because they still haven't gotten it. It's been way over a year. Whatever. I don't want the macaroni and cheese now. Anyway. But that there is an example of how I was treated for 5 years by people.
Yeah, how does that take 5 years? How is that timeline 5 years? That doesn't make any sense. How did that take 5 years?
And
Lorne, I'll let it play for a little bit.
Loved and I still love them because they're my siblings. But I will never let them get close to me again.
And Lorne, you did the right thing. If you have people that are toxic in your life, just taking advantage of you, you gotta cut them out. You did the right thing. You did the first thing right there. But then that doesn't mean you scam and rip off somebody. It doesn't mean you go online and chat with 13-year-old girls. Those aren't related. Yes, you got taken advantage of. You got scammed. If the story is even true, who the fuck even knows if this story is true? But you got ripped off. Okay, sad. Pity you. Okay, but then that doesn't lead you down the road. Doesn't make any sense.
And I certainly will never do anything for them in that manner. But that there is an example of
spit it out.
5 years worth.
Spit it out, Lorne. He's just saying, it was another example of 5 years. Blah, blah, blah. I'm pausing after every fucking word. Let's go.
Treatment. Same type of treatment. And it was being the youngest in the family. It hurt me quite a bit.
Yeah.
And
yeah. So
that's why.
Because Lorne was the youngest of what, 6 children? Is it 6? I believe it's 6. I have to look up the family tree. I have to get more reacquainted with that. But yeah, the youngest of 6 kids. So he's probably was being left to be raised by the older ones, and so that's probably where that idolizing kind of came from. But I mean, they were probably just Lorne was like. That's like Lorne didn't get enough attention, perhaps, and maybe his siblings were the only ones that gave him some, and that's why he kind of grew to idolize them, and that's why he was so heartbroken when they betrayed him. Oh man, does no one have a heart anymore? They can't see what's fucked up about this. Come on.
Betty's job went the way it did. And that's why I sold my house for $8,000 after I had over $60,000 into it, and
$60,000. That's it.
About 3 truckloads of tools, and packed up the rest of my stuff and left and went to Nashville. Because I couldn't take it anymore. I just had to get away from being used like I was.
And again, that's the right thing to do in that situation. If you feel like you have to change some things, have to change some things. That's what JPW said. I gotta change some things, but never, ever, ever. But no, if you feel like you gotta get get some people out, cut some people out of your life, that's the right thing to do. But that doesn't mean you fucking. It doesn't mean you go online and chat with 13-year-old girls. How did that make you do that? How did that? They're not related at all. They're not related at all. You're on fucking Planet 9, Lorne. You're on a completely different planet, man. You have no idea. And he thinks that this is some sort of vindicative statement that he's making. Like, oh yeah, see, now people will understand where I was coming from and they'll feel bad for me. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
And that right there led up to the reason why I couldn't think straight when I got involved with the stick.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, so that's why. He wasn't thinking straight. He wasn't thinking straight. That's what caused it. Okay.
But that there is all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much the end right here.
For those of you that want to know when the next show is going to be, it will be next weekend on April 15th or 16th, one or the other. And I guess that's about all I have to say for today.
All right, so that's basically going to do it. That is Lord Armstrong's example of his past. Oh, no. Oh, fuck, yeah. All right, that's all. So, I forgot I was listening. I had this on my favorites here. It just autoplay. That's pretty cool, though. Get a little cameo here to take us back up a notch. But yeah, that's it. That's Lord Armstrong's example of my past video. Little look at that. So yeah, he's full of shit. We all know that. And so yeah, that'll do it. So until next time, I guess I will see you guys later.